standing bolder, shoulder to shoulder. Playtime is over. Playtime is over. Now you are a champion. God is my witness. Imperfect perfection. Living my mission and winning. See, we are influencers. We have fear but don't stop. I have the confidence to rise to the top. We are standing bolder, shoulder to shoulder. Playtime is over. Playtime is over. All I need is inside of me. I am enough and now I see, yeah. I will reach my destiny, yeah. I don't need your permission, yes, I'm on a mission, I'll win. Oh, 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 yeah. Oh, yeah. Now listen, I want y'all to repeat after me, okay? Cause we're gonna make some declarations in here today. Here we go, 1, 2, 3. I'm building my legacy. Now you are a champion. God is my witness. Imperfect perfection. Living my mission and winning. See, we are influencers. We have fear but don't stop. I have the confidence to rise to the top. We are standing bolder, shoulder to shoulder. Playtime is over. Playtime is over. All I need is inside of me. I am enough and now I see, yeah. I will reach my destiny, yeah. I don't need your permission, yes, I'm on a mission, I'll win. Oh, 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 yeah. Oh, yeah. Now listen, I want y'all to repeat after me, okay? Cause we're gonna make some declarations in here today. Here we go, 1, 2, 3. I'm building my legacy for the whole world to see. You say, I'm building my legacy for the whole world to see. Say, I'm building my legacy for the whole world to see me. Say, oh,
Facebook doing all these great things. And I tell people I'm always cheering for my sisters from behind my laptop. Like, you know, with my busy life, my business, the husband, the kids, I'm always rushing, but I'll see something, I'm like, yes. Click like and keep it moving. So you might not hear me screaming yes, but just know I got my pom-poms up cheering.
First of all, I'm always cheering for you. Thank you. Love when you post your authenticity and you share what it's like to be you.
Yes.
I love it. And it's so powerful. I feel as women, we have to walk in our authenticity. And I love women that do that. And you're one of the women that lift me up. So when I'm having a bad day, when I'm in a struggle, when I feel like giving up and throwing in the towel, I always go to your page to be filled up. So I wanted to make sure that I said that.
Thank you. And you know what? That leads me to what I want to, before we jump into your story, which I think that's so powerful to state right now, because I know a lot of women who are in business and they feel like they're invisible. Mm-hmm. And they feel like, well, it's just little old me. How could I ever impact anybody else when it's just me? I don't have a big team. I don't have a big company. It's just me trying to spread empowerment or whatever. Why is it so important? Because you just gave a testimony. Like, hey, when I'm feeling a certain way, I come to your page. I might think nobody's looking or paying attention. So speak to that woman who might be having that struggle right now and the importance of showing up anyway.
So one of the advice that I give to entrepreneurs all the time is to study people who have made it and to read the biographies. And now we have podcasts, we have shows like yours where people are sharing what it took for them to get to where they needed to be. And you'll see some themes. And one of the things that I do when I'm having a tough day, because it's just me.
Yeah.
I'm the only one promoting my life and what I do, and I'm the one asking for opportunity. I don't have a big team behind me. So when I need to be filled up, I pour into myself. I look for other women who have done it.
Yes.
And I ask questions. I'll say, hey, when you were in this stage, how did you break through? How did you get through the noise? How did you differentiate yourself? Or I'll listen and read their books or watch videos. YouTube is the greatest thing in the world because you can sit and watch people share what they went through, how they were able to accomplish. And the other thing, too, is to ask for help. We are so afraid to ask for help.
Yes.
We have this sense of, if I ask, that I'm being weak. And what other people do is they sit back and say, oh, I was waiting on you to ask me. When were you going to ask me? Oh, I'd love to share my story. Oh, let me tell you how I broke through this. How can I help you? How can I invest in you? How can I lift you up? And that is what we need to do for each other.
I love that. You made something, a pivotal statement. If I don't ask, it feels like, oh, if I don't ask, or if I ask, then I'm weak. And I think that if I ask comes from, that a fear of that comes from, that means I don't know everything.
Right.
Well, guess what? You don't.
Right.
That's just reality. That's true. You don't know everything. You shouldn't know everything. You shouldn't think that you have all the answers. And so it does not diminish you as a leader, as an influencer, as a boss, just because there's one piece of something that you don't know.
Right.
Like, I'm going to ask the questions. Look, tell me how you do that. And I don't care how silly it sounds to anybody else. I need to know the answer, so I'm going to ask the question. So I love that. So then you talk about, yes, knowing that our stories are important. So can you share with us your story of how you, because I'm always in awe. I mean, y'all don't even understand who's in the studio right now. Like, you don't understand this woman, like, you know, hangs out in Beverly Hills and like just you're always at the most premier events. And it's like, who is she really? Who is Karen? So why don't you tell us, who is Karen Austin really?
and just to be authentic, I have moments of, oh my God, I can't believe I'm in this room myself, right? Yeah. So when I talk about trust the process. And any room that you're in, whether you feel you're supposed to be there or not, that's exactly where God meant for you to be.
That's exactly where you're supposed to be.
Ride the wave. Like I said, my life is just, doors keep opening and I just keep walking through them.
Yes.
Number one, it is so important to surround yourself with positive people and to learn from people. If you're the smartest person in your crew, you have got to surround yourself with different people. And what I found out is that there's so much opportunity out here, and sometimes we self-select to keep ourselves away from the opportunity. So you have to walk into rooms where you're uncomfortable and face those fears. And so on my journey, I looked in the mirror one day and I didn't like what I saw. And I said, okay, God, you only give us one shot at this. How can I change? How can I be the best person I can be? How can I learn? And how can I help other people get to where they need to be? Because like you, we see so many entrepreneurs who are fearful. They don't know how to get to where they're trying to go. They don't know the path. They just assume, oh, I create a website and everybody's going to come to it. No,
Oh,
that's
God,
not the way,
say that again.
That's not how any of this works.
No,
to take a
no.
so I had to look in the mirror, ask for help, begin to think about the world that was around me, and look at the people who were around me and say, well, is this person really for me or are they just here? So that was number one. And then number two was, okay, what do I need to learn? What do I not know?
Yes.
How do I invest in myself? I barely watch television anymore.
Amen.
I listen to podcasts and I watch conferences on YouTube. I read books. I am constantly feeding into myself as to how to get to the next level.
Yes.
And the other thing I do is I reach out and ask for opportunity. Hey, how did you learn about this? I always tell my close girlfriends, all I need you to do is put me in the room.
Yes.
That is what I asked for. I said, I don't need you to do anything but say, Karen, I'm going to make sure you're in this room.
Okay, but can we pause right there for a moment? That's powerful. But how do you find the women who are willing to put you in the room? Because I had an experience, and I won't get too specific about it, but it was about a year ago, and I was in this room. And when I got in the room, I saw all of these people that I knew, and I just wondered, why didn't any of them ever invite me into this room?
Right.
It took someone who I completely didn't expect to invite me into the room to invite me into the room. And now there I am, and I'm like, wow. So all of these people who know what I do, who know where I'm trying to go, none of them opened their mouths and ever said you should be in this room.
So let me get real.
Yeah,
okay?
get real. That's
so
what
now
we
it's
do
about
here.
to get real. So, and I'm going to get a little into some biases, okay? In certain rooms, around certain types of women, there is this sense of, I'm not going to show you how to get through the door. I'm here, but you got to figure out how to get here because I had to figure out how to get here. And sadly, I tend to see that in certain types of women. And I see it all the time. I have to deal with it all the time. Women who know they're going to see me 20 times a year and still won't help me. They still won't open the door. They still won't say, oh, I know that I can give you access. So, because I'm strategic and because I think differently, I always sit back and say, okay, thank you for showing me who you are.
Yes.
Then there are other rooms and other doors where people say, how do I help you? What door do you need open? Who do you need to talk to? So I always go through the doors where people are willing and able to open them for me. And God is so amazing because guess what happens? That person who blocked the door, who didn't value me, who thought, oh, well, I don't want to help her because she's going to intimidate me, make me look bad, be a competitor, whatever it is, which is all false. Then someone else who generally is of a different racial background walks me through the door, and then they treat me differently. So I've learned to pay attention to that. And I've also learned that when I'm in that spaces where no one opened the door for me, I think to myself, I'm not going to be that way. So when the rooms that I have gone in, I can look and see all the women I've brought with me.
Absolutely.
And I'm proud of that.
Yes. Like you can celebrate that. It gives me goosebumps. You can celebrate that like, wow, look around this room and look at all the women that I have allowed God to use me as a vessel to serve and support them. And I have to give you a shout out as well because you gave me the opportunity to speak on a platform that you hosted at, it was Google.
It was at Microsoft.
Microsoft. I'm looking at the Google mug that you gave me at Microsoft. And that was an amazing opportunity. And I always value those opportunities because it pushes me into a door that maybe I'm not familiar with. But how do you become familiar with it if you never do it, if you never are extended the opportunity? So I'm just going to give you a shout out here. So continue on with your story. I cut you off with that part about being in the right circles of people who say you need to be in this room.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. I now seek circles and opportunity where people want me.
Yes.
If you don't want me or you feel intimidated or you feel, oh, wow, I don't want her here, then guess what? I don't need your approval and I don't need your buy-in to be successful. So I can go through so many other doors to success. And yes, people underestimate me all day, every day. They assume I don't know what I know. They assume I'm not as smart as I am. They assume I don't have the network I do. And then one day they find out, oh, I didn't know that she was in these networks. And that's fine. But that's bias, and that speaks volumes as to who they are and their own bias that they have against probably their own people. And so it's really interesting to watch that play out. And now I used to be hurt by it. It used to hurt me. It doesn't hurt me anymore. Now it's just a reveal of who they are as people.
Absolutely. Well, I love that. I love everything about how you move and how you function and how you open doors of opportunity for everyone. So sometimes, people may look at you and they may see you once they, whether they know the background or not, they may not know the backstory. And they see you in these circles and they see you doing these amazing things and you're here, you're there, you're everywhere. And one of the things that I love is that you had the opportunity to go to the Harvard Business School. Oh my God!
Twice.
Come on now. Two times.
Yeah.
So they may look at you and the package looks so well put together and she just has it going on. She is the boss. But talk about fear. Do you have fears behind that? Because sometimes people look at successful women and are like, oh my gosh, she doesn't have fear of anything. And
I have tremendous fears that I have to face all the time. Harvard is hard as hell. So, and there's also extreme bias around it, because I'm unfamiliar, right? I'm a brown girl from West Philadelphia. I'm 5'9" and 190 pounds. When I walk through the door, you're going to notice me, right? But I'm unfamiliar.
Yes.
So you still have to walk in an environment with mostly white men who are talented, come from wealthy families, come from all of the influence and entitlement. And you have to walk in that room and be just as smart and prepared as they are, if not more.
Yes.
So in those spaces and places, you learn, you understand not only the patriarchy, but the entitlement. That you can walk in a room, the professors are like, well, how can I help you? What do you need? What door do you need open? What CEO do you need a relationship with? That's Harvard Business School. And you're sitting there going, what? This is what they get? It is the most incredible experience. I recommend. I have told all my girlfriends to go. Matter of fact, this year I have 3 girlfriends going to women's leadership because I've been pushing them to go.
Yes.
It is an investment. It is not cheap. It is very expensive, and it is worth every damn penny.
I love it.
I have female friends who are CEOs, who run businesses, who do all types of things around the globe. And I never would have met these women had I not had deep, intense experiences with them at Harvard Business School. And for those of you who don't know, at Harvard Business School, your day starts at 7 a.m., it ends at 9, so you can go back to study. So your entire day is engulfed with either your small group or your larger class the entire day, with maybe 1 or 2 small breaks to eat or just some mental health time. So from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m., you're just in it. So you get to know people on a really deep level. And so that's what's so incredible about it. It's an amazing experience.
So everything I hear you saying is pointing to the importance of being a student, like a lifelong
learner.
Yeah.
Lifelong learner.
And it's so funny. I'll meet these, entrepreneurs who want to run successful businesses, but they're like, oh, I don't work outside of these hours and I don't do this outside of these. I'm like, boo boo, you won't be. That's what I'm thinking to myself. You will not be successful because an entrepreneur, you are in it. You have to be committed to it and you have to build stamina. And I work with some people earlier on in my journey where they taught me stamina. Like we would go from, like you said, 7 in the morning to whatever. I just came back from 2 weeks with, a week with Lisa Nichols and her team in Orlando. And we start 6 in the morning. We go till midnight. And it's crazy. But do you have the stamina?
Yes.
And you were going to say something else.
So what I was saying is I meet a lot of people who really aren't entrepreneurs. They have a hobby. They have an exaggerated hobby, right?
An exaggerated hobby.
There's a difference between being an entrepreneur and, I just want a couple extra bucks for my family. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yes.
But it's understanding if you have a hobby that pays you an extra 5, 10, 15, 20,000 a year, that's great. Enjoy it, love it. That's your path. Speak to it, own it.
Yes.
But to be an entrepreneur means I'm trying to make money, generational wealth, or to change the impact of my family.
Yes.
And when I say we tend to self-segregate and keep ourselves in boxes, I meet people who are trying to create generational wealth. They're trying to make sure that their kids' kids don't have to work, right?
Yes.
As opposed to, I just need an extra 20,000. There's nothing wrong with that, but as long as you work for someone else, you're a slave, period. So until you make your own money, until you have your own multiple streams of income, until you're asleep and making money and you don't have to think about it, to live your life to the fullest means that your money pays for your hobbies and your things that you just want to, I just want to know if I can play the piano, or I just want to know if I can cook, because I don't have to worry about it, because all these other things are feeding my passion.
Absolutely. So then what would be some of your tips, strategies that you would share with someone who really does have a desire to get to that place of, I want multiple streams of revenue, I do want to create generational wealth, but maybe they just don't have the business savvy as of yet?
Number one, like I said, the information is here. To live in 2019 almost, podcasts, YouTube videos, shows like this, books, magazines. If you're not reading Fast Company, you should be on the Fast Company website, watching all the videos, reading all the articles, and then if you read someone that interests you, send them a tweet, send them an email, reach out to them on Facebook, ask them to mentor you, ask them, hey, can I just ask a couple of questions of you? Then, if you're walking into rooms where you are constantly comfortable, you are not helping yourself.
Yes.
So you need to put yourself in places and spaces where there's no one like you. There's no one doing what you do. There's no one who's trying to build their business the way you are. So people can begin to say, tell me what you do. And if it doesn't work on your block, go to the next block. If it doesn't work on that block, you go to the next block. If DC is not the right market, you go to New York City. I watch people go back and forth to New York City all the time. You know why? Because that's where they have a customer base. That's where people are opening doors for them. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just figuring out, where can I sell, how can I sell, how can I show the world who I am, and how do I move forward? And that takes time to figure out.
It does. And you said something earlier about, God opens the doors, I walk through the doors. It's like you got to keep walking through the doors, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's unfamiliar, even when you're scared to freaking death. You're just like, oh my God, I don't even know why I'm here. You go anyway, because you'll learn something from that experience. And you'll figure out, oh, that's why I was there, for this reason. I needed to learn this, or I needed to learn how to do this, or I needed that connection with this person. I need to be in the room with that person. Well, there's always a reason. If God opens the door and puts you there, there is a reason. And I love that you said put yourself in those places, the places and the spaces that are going to grow you. And earlier you said something about going where people want you. You guys, I always say go where you're celebrated, not tolerated. Lisa Nichols always will say go and play with the people who want to play with you. So I'm going to play with the people. And I learned that. But I had to learn that because when I first started, I wanted to be in certain circles and in certain rooms and wasn't being invited and felt some kind of way. I was hurt. I'm like, really? And a lot of it was an intimidation. Intimidation of people. And the crazy part was people would see more greatness in me than I saw in me in myself at the time. So I just learned over time, go play with the people that want to play with you. Why are you trying to break down that door and God trying to open this door over here? So let's talk a little bit before we wrap up about the Spectrum Circle, which I've had the privilege of attending and being a supporter of. Talk about that. That's happening March 15th at the Fairmont Hotel in DC. What is the Spectrum Circle? Who is it for?
So this is our annual awards luncheon. We are now at the Fairmont Hotel in Washington, D.C. First of all, buy tickets. You can buy tickets online at spectrumcircle.com. But the Spectrum Circle is a storytelling platform. As I shared, you have to learn from other people.
Yes.
All of us have a story to share on who we are and how we are navigating our journey in life. So I fully believe in women sharing their stories, because you can't be what you can't see. And you can't learn unless someone else tells you, this is what I had to go through. And the truth, not the fairy tale version. A lot of times you hear, oh, I went here, I got this degree, and I became senior executive vice president. That's not the reality. That's not the truth. Tell the truth of how you got here and how hard it is. And maybe you got fired, or maybe you were forced to leave, but that forced you to change in order to get this other job. Especially for the millennials that are coming up, they need guidance because they see social media and television showing them a reality that's not real. There's one Kylie Jenner, there's one Kim Kardashian. Right? There's not going to be a million of them. There's not going to be 1,000 of them. Right? you have to figure out, well, if I want to be successful, or if I want to maximize this one life that God has given to me and not waste it, how do I learn and listen and take advantage of the experiences of others so that I can make better decisions? So that's what the Spectrum Circle is all about. Our luncheon, we're going to celebrate 6 women. The venue holds 160 people, and I plan to sell it out.
Yes. As you do every year. Yes.
Great products, great sponsors. I'm really excited. Giant Food has already come on as a sponsor. Metro has come on as a sponsor. I'm waiting to hear from a lot of other corporations. But please buy a ticket, be in the room, get to network with the women who are in the room, enjoy this moment. And then after the Spectrum Circle Awards, I will be doing a few other things. As a matter of fact, talking about being in rooms, and I'm looking at the clock, one of the rooms that I'm in has asked me to host a movie screening.
Wow.
And I never thought that the Spectrum Circle would host a movie screening, but we're going to do it. And this particular group said, oh, well, we'll pay for the movie theater and everything else. We just invite your tribe to come out. So being uncomfortable, and even being in spaces where you don't agree with everyone in the room, you'll be shocked at how much you grow as a person and the relationships you make. People are shocked to hear. I have friends of all different backgrounds, all different political, religious, you name it. And we're really good friends, and we look out for each other and respect each other. And I don't insult them, and they don't insult me, but we help each other get to the next level. And that's what friendship is about.
I love that. I love that you're such a reflection of that. And I see you with your core group, and I love the way you all look out for each other. I mean, you can feel it. You can feel the genuineness of it, and you use a word in your bio, authenticity. You can feel that authentic love and support for each other. And guys, if you don't have that, find it. Like, go and play with the people that want to play with you. Don't try to force doors open. Like, you'll find the tribe that you're meant to. And pay attention, be observing, open your eyes, ask for what you want. Like, you gave us so many nuggets and tools that we can use to really move forward. And probably the best thing that I love that you said, of all the great things you said, is just, there's one Kim, there's one Kylie, there's one whoever. There's one you.
Right.
There's only one you. How are you going to maximize, using Karen's words, how are you going to maximize what God has given you? How are you going to be the most amazing, brilliant, fantastic, spectacular you, where when you do leave this place, someone is going to say, oh my God, let me tell you how Cheryl touched my life. Let me tell you how Karen touched my life. Let me tell you how Vanessa touched my life. That's what you want to leave. You want to, as we say, leave this place
with. And let me say one thing, and I'll wrap up because I know you have another guest. The best thing I did for myself was to look at the people who were around me and to really look at what they were seeking in life, what impact they had on my life. Were they negative or were they positive? And that's a tough thing to do because you got to include family in that as well, right? So you have to look and say, well, is this the person who's always, you can't do, you'll never be able to do this, you're not smart enough, you're not pretty enough, you're not thin enough, you're not this, you're not that? Or were they saying, you know what, go for it. If you fail, you're still going to grow. But I'm going to support you either way. And I asked God to remove those people and to bring in the people who would support me. And that is the change that you see. And that's what happened.
I love that. And I have to piggyback on that and say, for me, similar. And for me, I gave myself permission to withdraw from people who if I felt that there's a sense of competition or any negative vibe, I give myself permission to say that person can't be in my direct inner circle. They can't be in my front row because that doesn't serve me well. And I'm going to shout out 2 people who are always in my corner, in addition to Karen is always supporting me and loving on me. Peggy Morris, who has a show here. I mean, she's been supporting me since day one when I was selling T-shirts. And I didn't even know about this Cheryl Wood, the international speaker, yet. Ladrine Peterson, who is a partner and a sponsor of the show, and Myra Figueroa Clark. Always, I mean, never hear anything negative. They're always, they celebrate my gift more than I celebrate my gift. I'm just like, I'm need y'all in my life constantly.
Right.
Like, it's a good thing. It's a powerful thing. So if people want to connect with you, how do they connect with you? And again, give them that link one more time for Spectrum Circle.
On Facebook, it's Karen Maria Alston. I also have a public page called Being Karen Alston. You can follow, I'm Advertising Diva on pretty much every social media platform, or you can follow my hashtag Being Karen Alston to see what's going on with me. For the Spectrum Circle, please go to www.thespectrumcircle.com to learn more about the Spectrum Circle. You can follow us on social media, and please come to the Spectrum Circle Awards on March 15th in Washington, D.C. at the Fairmont Hotel.
I love it. And we're going to have a huge shout out to everybody who's joining us, not only through voxwave.com, but through Facebook Live. Vicky Shanks, I see you, sis. Thanks for being here. Laura Layton, thanks for being here. Karen Terrell Leah, hi, sis. Good to see you. Vanessa Elam, Ingrid Love Thomas, Robin Rogers, Charlene Johnson. Who else did I miss? Sheena Moten, thank you for being here. Trying to catch everybody. Stella Walker, Naomi Granger, thank you for being here. Datasha Mayo, thanks guys for being here. Please be sure to share this out because this is really, really great content, and we want to make sure if you get your hands on great content, why not share it with somebody else?
Yes.
Thank you so much, Karen, for taking time from your busy schedule and your world travels to stop by Impact the World Radio. We're going to take a very brief break, and we will be back with our next guest, Miss Veronica Burnett.
It's that time of year again, the second annual toy drive, your chance to give back to the community by helping a child have a happy holiday. Stop by Voxwave Studios, 4711 Oth Place, Suitland, Maryland, and donate all your unwrapped toys no later than December 20th. It's our second annual toy drive, sponsored by Urban Style Media, Voxwave.com, and Star Imports, the home of the boutique car buying experience. So enjoy your holidays and give back to the kids of the DMV.
Business owners looking for a place to advertise your business and promote your products and services? Voxwave is the right place. We have over 10,000 views a day and 70,000 listeners a month. For more information, contact Reg Gaskins at 240-832-4455.
Voxwave now features a streaming radio media player on our website's front page, where local artists can get their music played 24/7. For more information on getting your music in rotation or to perform live at our studio, contact Reg Gaskins at 240-832-4455.
Android users, the Voxwave app is now available in the Google Play Store. Download the app today on your Android device to listen in and view programs.
DJ Rick Entertainment.
DJ Rick Entertainment, hottest DJ in the DMV area, CEO of Step Your Game Up and the Youth Project Show, the DJ on the Heartbeat Conga Hour, and sound engineer for a variety of bands. DJ Rick Entertainment is your #1 company for all your stage and sound event needs. Call 202-390-1151. That's 202-390-1151.
DJ Rick Entertainment.
We have powerful words.
So I got to give a huge shout out, as we do every week, to Miss Tammy Turner, who wrote and produced and sang the heck out of that song, Playtime is Over, for last year's Playtime is Over Women's Business Conference. And the words are just so powerful about women standing bolder, shoulder to shoulder, and really being in support of each other and understanding that you don't have time to play games. Like, you got to get out into the world and impact the world with your unique gift today. Like, stop putting off till tomorrow what you can do today. And so she blessed us with that amazing song, and we decided to bring it in as our anthem for this show because, I mean, it couldn't be more applicable. Playtime is over. Get out and impact the world now. And connect, like Karen was saying, connect with the people who want to help you, who want to open doors, who want to see you succeed. Go to those places and connect with those individuals. So my next guest is also a very motivational, amazing woman. She specializes in helping other women to move from the devastation of traumatic life events and destructive cycles to living healthier, more productive lives. Her name is Veronica Burnett. She's a speaker. She's an advocate for healthy relationships, and she's the creator of Better Days Conference. Her vision is to educate, empower, and encourage individuals to break free of dead-end cycles, to be fearless in their pursuit of happiness, to be focused on finding their divine purpose in life, and to live their best lives today. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So I always say, my belief is that when people choose something as a business and how they serve other people, it's typically connected to something they have personally experienced, something about their story that causes that particular cause to resonate with them. So share with us your story and how you got started, and why this space, why healthy relationships and helping women in this way.
Okay. Well, before I get into that, I just want to say thank you so much for having me on today. I want to give a shout out to Sunita Mitchell, who introduced me to you and pushed me so hard to get started with public speaking and motivation. Awesome. And just thank you so much, Sunita. And there are a lot of other people that I can name right now, but I will forget because my memory is not great. And also a huge shout out to my dad, who is taking care of my sick baby right now so that I can be here.
Oh, your kid's sick too. Mine
she
too.
Is
Everybody's
sick. 2 days with
sick.
The fever.
Yes.
So
everybody, literally my entire household is sick, including me, but I did not want to cancel the show today, so I was like, I got to pull it together and get in there. Right. So, yeah. So I try not to cough on you. So shout out to all those people who are supporting you and you being here. Thank you. That's awesome.
Yeah. So the Better Days Conference, it came from my own traumatic life experiences. I'm not ashamed to say that I am a survivor of domestic violence, and I can just remember the day when I decided to walk out. It was a process to get there, but February 27, 2015, I walked out of my home with my 20-month-old daughter on my hip with a duffel bag and her nebulizer, and we left for good. And I spent the year just me and God talking and going to counseling like every week until my counselor put me out. But she told me, Veronica, you do have what it takes to make it, because I was very much afraid of just being on my own after that. Yeah. And so one day I'm driving to work and I'm like, God, what am I supposed to do with everything that you've been showing me over this past year, from going to conferences about domestic violence and attending interfaith conferences about domestic violence education. And he just said to me, I want you to share your message with others. And so I said, okay, well, that's what I'll do. Literally 20 minutes from where we started talking to the time I got to work, he had given me the entire vision for Better Days Conference. Wow. And it's just the platform that I use to let other women know that you may go through traumatic life events, but you don't have to get stuck there. You don't have to be in that cycle. One thing that I did learn in counseling was that it wasn't just that isolated relationship. It had started when I was 5 years old. And then again at 16, in different relationships in my life. There were so many components that led to that. And for me, I just decided I didn't want my daughter to go through what I went through, and I told the Lord, look, whatever I have to experience right now to break this cycle so that my daughter doesn't have to experience it, I'm going to go through it. It's been tough. It's been challenging. I had to leave and go to my parents' house. I mean, who wants to take their child back home to their parents? But I was blessed to have my parents there to support me And so I'm just doing whatever I can so that she doesn't experience it. And so that I can teach and talk to other women and let them know you can come out of this situation. And it doesn't have to be just domestic violence. It can be any cycle in your life that you've experienced. You make the decision.
I love that. So what I hear you saying is really women claiming their own power.
Exactly.
And their personal power. Exactly. To create the life that you know that you desire and the life that you deserve. And sometimes you said something that was very potent for me, which was sometimes in that process of breaking these cycles and ending destructive behavior, sometimes you have to do things that you don't necessarily want to do. Exactly. So going back home to mom and dad wasn't something you wanted to do. No. But it was a necessary part of your process. That's what Karen was talking about, trusting the process. Exactly. And it sounds like to me that you trusted the process and said, this is what I have to do, this is what I have to go through to break this cycle, and I'm going to do it, no matter how uncomfortable it is. So kudos to you. And kudos to the fact that you didn't just then keep the life lessons to yourself. Now you turn around and said, okay, I got out, I did it, I built myself up, I became stronger, I became more courageous. Now I'm breaking the cycle for my daughter, but now I want to teach other women. Right. So when women come to you and, well, first of all, do women work with you outside of the Better Days conference? How do you work with women outside of that conference, if at all?
Well, I'm always available to whomever comes to me and talk to me. And at any time, if someone wants to talk to me, I do know that I have to be confidential with that information. And I just share with them. There are some women who are starting life over. Yeah. And so because of my life experiences and people that I've met, I'm able to point them in the direction of the resources that can help them. You know, on my website, there are a list of different places that you can go to get help with domestic violence. I have a great attorney that I've worked with and have forwarded people her way, just on different situations. I have a woman who specializes in helping people with bankruptcy. There are so many people who are afraid of that. You know, you're afraid of that. Just starting over, and because I've come across people with these specialties, then I'm able to do that. And just talking to someone, I had one woman to call me one day saying, you know, I met you at this conference and I really needed to talk to you about budgeting. And at that time, she told me she was just getting out of a domestic violence relationship. We spent an hour on the telephone talking, and just what I said to her and what she heard from me that day at the conference resonated with her, and it gave her hope. Yes. And it gave her strength to know that she can move forward. She's a single mom now. But it gave her hope and strength to say, I have this person to encourage me, to help me. And so that's just what I want to provide to people who are in touch with me. Just know that you're not by yourself in this. There's a village of people. Create that village, and I can be that one on the background just to cheer you on and tell you, you can keep going. Don't stop right here. There's more for you on the other side. You do have better days in front of you. Just keep going. Don't stop.
I love it. And you use the word hope. Just giving people hope. You guys hear me say it I probably say this every show. Your story is about you, but it ain't for you. No. And so you sharing your story gave her some hope that if you could make it through, so can she. Right. And then you served as an additional support system by allowing her to call you and then kind of walking her through. A lot of times people just don't want to feel like they're alone. Right. And they want to connect and talk with someone who has been through what they've been through. That's why it's so powerful to share what you've been through, like the real truth, the raw, authentic truth. Because it might not be for everybody in that room, but it might be for a few. And your job, I believe, in really impacting the world with your unique fingerprint, your job is to find the few who need exactly what you have so that they don't feel alone, so that they know that there's hope. I want to give a huge shout out to Vicki Shanks. She said, she said, sharing your challenges is what it's all about. Others need to know what you can get through, what they can get through, that they can get through it, and thrive in a great way. Bless you for sharing your story. So that's just powerful that you are vulnerable enough to share it. So then let's talk about first two things. Let's talk about some of the steps that you would share with a woman who does want to transition into a more productive, healthier lifestyle. And then let's talk about the conference and what people can expect. What's the environment like at the conference? Who should come to the conference? So those two things.
So the first thing,
Okay. So the first thing is give us some steps that you would share with a woman, regardless of whether it's domestic violence or you're rebuilding from financial turmoil, whatever the thing is that you're going through. It could be a medical trauma that you went through, any type of trauma. What would be some steps that you would encourage them to take to start the rebuilding process?
Okay. The first thing I would say is actually pray. And that may sound cliche, but prayer does work, and it gives you a sense of clarity, and it can help you just hear from God in the direction that you want to go. And then I would say have a purpose for your new life, that new direction, and then plan. You can't do anything unless you have a plan. If you don't have a plan, it's just a dream. I would also say envision what your new life is supposed to look like, or what you want it to look like. It is so important to change your mindset about where you want to go from where you are. I know for me, before I even left my situation, I kept saying, God, there's got to be something different. There's got to be better. And I envisioned what I wanted my life to look like. And I kept making steps towards that. Surround yourself with people who can help you get there, and open your mouth. The young lady before me, Karen, she said, talk to someone, ask them questions. I had no clue that people around me experienced almost the exact same thing that I did until they heard me, until I opened my mouth, and then that gave them courage to open and talk to me and say, hey, this is what I'm experiencing. And because of that, I was able to help them. So you just don't know what you're keeping from yourself and what blessings are out there for you if you keep your mouth shut. Open your mouth and talk to someone, and you just never know how someone can help you and point you in the right direction. But definitely change your mindset. Definitely pray. I read something recently. It says don't make a decision when you're hungry. So everybody knows about going to the grocery store when you're hungry. You overspend. It goes the same with relationships, with shopping, with anything. If you are hungry and you have not been fed by God, His Spirit, you're going to go out there and make the wrong choices. You're just going to bring in anything into your space. Don't be hungry. Get full off of knowledge and wisdom and understanding and direction for yourself. Because when you don't, you still go right back out there and make those same decisions. Get full on a good, solid, knowledge-based wisdom. Those are the things that I can share with you. And just make sure you talk to someone.
I love that. So I'm going to recap because it was so good. It was so juicy. No, I love it. It was good stuff. So I heard you say pray. That was number one. She didn't make that number 3 or 4. That was number one. Pray, because you don't want to go out and make decisions based on being hungry. You need to be fed. You need to be filled and fueled and have the knowledge so that you can have clarity, is what you talk about. Like praying so you can gain clarity so you can make wise decisions. Number 2 is having a purpose, knowing that there is a purpose for your life. There's a purpose for why you were created, and you can get to that purpose, but you got to get through the process of what you're going through right now. Then plan. Create some type of plan. And what I would say with the plan is be flexible with your plan, because sometimes we can create a plan and we're rigid. So you don't want to be rigid, because sometimes God will say, well, I know you planned it this way, but let me detour you over here, daughter, so I can actually get you to the same end result. So create a plan, but be flexible. The next thing you said was envision. Envision what you want. And there's a quote that I use often by Zig Ziglar, is that you have to see the reaching in your own mind before you ever accomplish something. So you have to be able to see it. Like, can you literally see it in your mind before it ever manifests? When I was imagining myself and envisioning myself as being this girl who grew up in poverty and who would one day be this international speaker traveling the world, I could see it visually and visualize it in my mind before it ever happened. It hadn't manifested yet, but I believed in it so much that it was like I had painted a picture in my mind of what it would look like when it happened. And that also, I think, connects with the when, not if it happens. Once you start to envision it, you just feel like, okay, I'm just waiting for it to happen. When it happens, not if it happens. And then last but not least, open your mouth. Open your mouth. I always say show up, speak up, and follow up. You have got to speak up about what you want, the support that you need. You got to open your mouth and share your story, because that will connect you to other people who may have gone through the same thing or be going through the same thing. So all of those are very, very powerful takeaways and nuggets. I hope you guys are taking great notes. All of you who are with me on Facebook Live, as well as those of you who are watching through Vox Wave, giving a huge shout out to Ingrid. Ingrid says, yes, pray first, then plan. Absolutely. And so now tell us more about the Better Days Conference. I love that title, by the way. Where is it held? I know that it's going to be on March 16th, but you can tell us all the details. And it looks like your theme is living your best life.
Yes.
I love it.
Thank you. So the Better Days Conference is Saturday, March 16th. And it will be at the Essence of Movement Studio in Clinton, Maryland. It's a yoga studio. We had the last one there in October. It was amazing.
Oh, awesome.
It was amazing.
And it's called the Essence of what?
Essence of Movement.
Oh, very
studio.
interesting. Okay.
Yes. It's a small studio, but it is perfect for what we do. It provides a relaxing location. And so we're just going to talk about the first step that you take to living that best life, being intentional about that best life. We know, I think we've all heard the song on the radio.
Yes, everybody, right?
But what are you going to do to get there?
Yes.
What steps do you take to get to your best life? And are you going to be intentional about getting to that best life? We can talk about it and, like I said, envision it. But you have to make steps. You have to do something to get there. So we're going to talk about that, encourage you, empower you to do that, and connect you with people who can help you get to that best life. And then we're going to have a yoga session.
Okay.
There are a lot of people who come out who are stressed all the way up to here.
Yes.
Their shoulders are tight. And so the last time we had a chair yoga massage, so don't worry about not being able to get on the floor because you're going to do this in the chair, but it was amazing.
That's awesome.
And it just provides a place to just release some of that tension. It's going to be really, really good. I don't want to give everything away, but I do want to say for everybody watching who wants to attend today through Friday, today at 12:30 through Friday at 11:30, anyone who is watching can get a $25 registration to that conference, only if you're watching, and it closes on Friday, and then registration doesn't open again until January.
Wow.
And so it's $25. You get lunch, a swag bag.
For $25?
Yes, but you have to watch.
Wow.
You can only get it through Friday.
And what's the website? Where do they go to register?
You can just go to betterdaysliving.eventbrite.com, betterdaysliving.eventbrite.com, and you'll see it's only open until Friday, and there are only 10 spaces for that $25.
So you guys who are watching, all those of you who are tuned in, I know some of our folks are from Florida and Texas and some other places. I know Kimberly's normally here. She's from Hawaii. So even if you can't make it, tell somebody, jump on it, get on it for $25. And you get the conference, you get the lunch, you get the yoga session. You're going to go to betterdaysliving.eventbrite.com, right?
Yes.
betterdaysliving.eventbrite.com. Y'all got to share that with somebody. Like don't let that slip by. Only $25. That is a steal for real.
For real.
And you're going to get to connect with other people and share. And like you said, you used the word repeatedly, release. That release is so important. The one thing I want you guys who are watching to understand is that you do not have to go through whatever life situation you're going through alone.
No.
And so often what we'll do is we retreat to ourselves, we isolate ourselves, and that's why we don't move forward, because you cannot do it alone. Right. Like, you got to open your mouth and share it with someone.
Exactly.
You need to be able to lean on somebody else for support. It's like, it's okay. It's okay to say, everything ain't perfect right now. I'm going through a challenge right now. All it does is humanize you. You're human, and all of us go through. If I could say a word, I would say the word, but I'm not gonna say. All of us go through stuff. All of us go through stuff at some point in life.
We do.
It's like, don't try to pretend like your life is perfect. And when you're going through it, who do you have? Who are you connected to? Of like minds who are going to fuel you with positive thoughts. Again, you guys will hear me talk a lot about those power pellets. Remember Pac-Man? He had to eat the power pellets so he could get his strength, so he could eat the ghosts. Like, who are your power pellets? Who are your power sources? This is an opportunity for you to connect with power sources that encourage you, empower you, equip you with the tools to know, I can do this. I can make it through this. This doesn't have to be the end of it. This can just be my new beginning.
Yes.
So tell us again how they can connect with you on social media and any closing words for those who are watching.
So you can connect with me on Instagram at Veronica_Burnett. You can find me on Facebook on my personal page, Veronica Burnett, or on my Facebook business page, Veronica Burnett, Speaker and Advocate. You'll see that. You'll also find me at veronicaburnett.com. And if you need to send me an email, vburnettmk@gmail.com.
So there you have it. And we'll have this up on our YouTube channel as well. And you guys, of course, will have access to it through the Facebook Live. Thank you so much for coming and sharing your story. Thank you so much for being bold in telling your truth, your raw, authentic truth, and using the lessons that you've learned to help other people. Like, that's why we created this show. Right. It's to show individuals just like you who are impacting the world just by opening your mouth and sharing your story, by being willing to give back. Hey, here's the lessons that I've learned. Here's what I've gone through. But it wasn't for me. It was about me because I went through it, but it wasn't for me. Now let me use it and extend the lessons that I learned to someone else to help them overcome what they're going through. So that's a powerful thing. You're standing in a place of power by doing that. And I just want to commend you and encourage you to keep up the great work. Y'all, come on, go ahead, get your ticket, betterdays.living.eventbrite.com, only $25, but it closes on Friday. I hope you guys jump on that opportunity. That's an amazing opportunity. All right, guys. That's it for us. We will not be here for the next 2 weeks we'll be out because next Wednesday is my birthday. I'm turning the big 45. Yes, I can't believe, like, when did I get here? 45. But I'm loving it. I love the skin that I'm in. I love everything about who I am and who I'm becoming. I love how God is using me to impact other people's lives in the world globally. And so I'm excited to celebrate 45. That's going to be next Wednesday. And then the following Wednesday, of course, is New Year's. I think isn't it January 1st? I think that Wednesday is like January, or maybe it's the 2nd. It's the first day back from, I think, winter break and everything. So we won't be here, but we will be here that following week, which I believe is January the 9th, I want to say. But we will still have our shows running, so you can still come here and get your power source and get your power pellet for the day for the next 2 Wednesdays from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. We love you. Happy holidays. Safe holidays to everyone. Enjoy family and friends. Celebrate the fact that you have opened your eyes another day. Celebrate life and just live a really, really, really good life, y'all. Come on, as we go into 2019. We'll see you in the new year. Take care.
We have powerful words. We have powerful minds. We use our voices and freedom takes flight. And we're ready to work. We're ready to